Hello, let's go ahead and do a stock market recap from this week's action. We'll start with the SPY here, the daily. This is exactly why, guys, I don't like to short unless the 50-day moving average is trending down and there's some sort of setup on the short side. For example, in here, there was maybe some short setups. I think here, under this 50-day moving average here, there was actually a brilliant short setup. But guys, it's really difficult to short a market that's trending up. It's really hard to catch a top. I'm not saying you can't do it. It's not really my cup of tea. The only time I'll really short is when something has a really outsized gap up. It's really difficult. And so the band continues on. They keep playing. And we're back at new all-time highs. And no one should really be surprised that this market keeps going up. I do have to say, this recent volatility here, probably not healthy. It's probably not healthy, and we're going to get into something else that's maybe indicative that the market is not so healthy. We did talk about the front month vols diverging for a really long time here, making higher highs and higher lows, and that ended up playing out, but we didn't really get too large of a correction here. It was 386 to 369. It's a solid correction, about 5% if I'm counting right, but nothing major, but it's a decent sized correction. But, I posted on Twitter and talked about in the video last week on the weekend that we were back at this VWAP from this really important high volume high, and it had acted so many times as a market bottom. And I said, don't be surprised if this ends up bouncing us all the way back to new all-time highs. And that's exactly what happened here. Go down to a 30-minute. And so here we're cautious. Right? Because we have the year-to-date VWAP here, but we know we're bouncing off that really important VWAP here, so we kind of wait, and we're playing in this range here, and we're waiting to kind of see what the price action's looking like here. You never know. Like, we could have rejected here, and we could have built a range here and then kept going down, but we didn't. And I think there was a key tell on this day, and I actually tweeted out that I thought the market was setting up for a boom. I thought there was a lot of stuff looking really good on the upside. And so it's not always about what the market's looking like, but if you look through a lot of different tech stocks and just a lot of different stocks in general, as I was looking through, I saw, wow, there's a lot of stuff here that looks really ready to go up. And so even though the market was in a troublesome place and we didn't really know one way or the other, I used that bias to kind of say, hey, these stocks look so good, I think the market's actually going to go up. And sure enough, that is what ended up happening here. But I have to continue to say that this big of a move here, you're probably going to end up finding some supply at some point. Now here I have some fibs on, and they've acted pretty well in the past here. So I'm going to continue to use these. And the 100% move, if you're curious, this is from, this is from this low here, up to this high, up to this low, and because that was kind of the breakout of this bigger range we had. And so I wanted to kind of get the breakout fibs. So we went here to here to here, and we're almost at that 100% move from this low. So this move attached to this low, that's 100%. That's the same sized move. The market often works in symmetry. And so I think 392.50, I think it's very possible that we see that within the next week, guys. I think that's something that we should be aware of and we should be ready for. Now, that's the SPY. Not much else to say. It's bullish, and I'm targeting 392.50. That's where I stand at the moment. We closed at new all-time highs. There's really nothing else to say here. Now we're going to go look at the IYT. These are the transports, and these are one of the best leading indicators as far as sectors go of the broad market and what might come for the broad market. As of right now, the IYT has actually put in a lower low here, and we've been talking for weeks. And so this is not always an immediate effect. It's often something that draws out for a long time. This is something that's been diverging from the market, and it's not in a good way. It's in a weak way. Back here, we had the IYT leading the market. It was always up more percentage-wise. It was always making higher highs first. It was breaking out first. And we talked about that, and we said, hey, we are really bullish on the market. But now, it's not doing that, and it's something you guys just need to be aware of. It doesn't mean you have to stop playing longs. I sure as hell am not stopping playing longs. I'm looking for setups. But you have to be aware, when you're in longs, that you have a defined risk, and that total defined risk is okay losing, because at some point here, these divergences are going to play out, and we'll see a bigger correction. Everybody's really complacent right now, and that's fine. The market's going up, but you just have to be aware that if this starts to come up here, maybe form a lower high as SPY is at 392.50 and say this still hasn't made a higher high, that's really not going to be good. It starts putting in a lower high, and we start heading back down here and maybe get another breakdown candle. And then let's say we start to lose this VWAP. So we lost it here, but we got right back up. Let's say we hold under it for a couple days. You're looking at a drop from 215 down to at least 200. And so you're looking at, almost, it could turn into a 10% drop down to 195. It's certainly possible. And so I just wanted to note this and make you guys aware. The volatility divergences are kind of going away, but still understand that we haven't made new lows here, and the VIX hasn't made new lows, and I'm not saying it can't. It very well might, but there's a gap down here to fill, and you have this divergence in the transports. Just something to really keep in mind. Now the IWM's looking great. It also closed a new high, and so there's absolutely nothing wrong there. But I think, as most people know, this is an absolutely ridiculous rally that will come to an end at some point. And whether that's this month or whether it's next month, there will be a correction. And we're getting that first sign here in the IYT that the market's just getting a little bit weaker under the hood. The SMH, the semiconductors, are a good view of the tech space. And while these continue up, they're also not making new highs. And so this is another index that we should be watching. Can we put in a lower high as the SPY and QQQ are going up? Does this start to put in a lower high? Does it start to look weaker? And these are things you have to really check every morning, see what every index is up percentage-wise in the morning. It takes 2 minutes to just check these charts, see if any of them are weaker, check the charts after the market. Really simple. Okay, Q's closed a new all-time high, I think. Let's see, 330.19, closed by 5 cents over that high. And so, that's, there's no accidents here. 330.32, is actually the all-time high here, so we close under that. Interesting to note. Let's check the futures. They're a little bit red. So let's just say we do happen to come down tomorrow a little bit. Basically we just want to be holding here. So the same place we've been holding, and then similar to the SPY, you have this area here down at 381, 380. We want to be holding that, so we can see we had a top here. And then we're over it, we're supporting it. Here it was resistance, and once again support. So that's really our line in the sand. I think for this rally to have more short-term upside, we should be holding this fib here at 383.50. You can see we were never really able to hold it well. And so maybe if we based over that overnight, tonight, or over the next day or two, we'll likely see another rally up to this target here next week sometime. Okay. Lastly, let's just look at the financials real quick. They're also not making new highs, and they're also at their all-time highs, and so they're struggling just a little bit. And something to note is this 50-week moving average still pointed down. The monthly looks fine, but it's not out of the question that this could end up pulling back more, right? And so we want to continue to watch this, the IYT, and the SMH, and as those develop, I'll go ahead and cover them in my videos. But yeah, that's really it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, Twitter and Instagram and our True Trade website, all in the description below if you'd like more live updates or to come join us in our room and get live voice chat and signals and all that. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.